What is going on, guys, and welcome to this video. Welcome back to my channel. Today, just like the title says, I want to talk about how not to suck at playing guitar. Now, I just want to preface a couple of things before I get into this. One of them being, I don't truly believe anybody sucks at playing guitar. I think we're just all at different points on our own journey to getting better at playing guitar. I was at one point at one time, and I'm sure everybody else was too. Nobody was just born with the ability to play guitar well. So I don't think anyone actually sucks, but I do believe that if you are doing certain things and putting out certain content on your Instagram, social media, things like that, you might give somebody the perception that you do suck at guitar. Let's just be honest, there's some videos that are worth watching and some videos that just aren't. And I'm here to give you guys 5 quick tips that I know, at least that helped me along my journey to becoming a better guitar player. And I really feel passionate about sharing that with you guys, so we can all just watch some better content online. Also want to throw something else out there. I'm not a guitar instructor. I'm not here to tell you guys how to become Yngwie Malmsteen or John Petrucci. I'm not here to give you guys a whole list of guitar exercises that I don't practice myself. I'm just here, like I said, to give you guys some quick tips that I know helped me along the way. So without further ado, let's get into this. These are my 5 tips to be a better guitar player and not suck at playing guitar. All right, guys, tip number 1, and this is one that I am really passionate about myself because this one hurts to watch sometimes, and I think you guys are going to know what I'm talking about, but that is your vibrato. Do yourselves a favor and don't cheat yourselves out of the music that you have written, a really cool riff that you wrote or a lead, by ending it with this. You are just going to take all of the focus that you had off of that really cool riff, that really cool song, that really cool solo that you just played, and the only thing that people are going to be able to focus on and remember, especially other guitar players, is going to be that vibrato, because that vibrato is just nasty. It sticks out like a sore thumb, and I promise you, nobody wants to hear it. Now, I'm not saying that you have to stop doing vibrato forever, but at least for the time being, if you don't feel comfortable doing vibrato, if you don't think that it's up to par with what it should be, then just don't do the vibrato. It's going to really keep the focus on how cool whatever it was that you just wrote or whatever it was you just happened to be recording, and it's not going to take away from it by ending it on some sour vibrato that nobody really wants to listen to. I promise you, it's going to help your videos and help your content just that much more, and it's going to make you become a better guitar player for it. So do yourself a favor and just kind of work up to it, and eventually it'll just sound buttery and smooth. And all right, guys, so tip number 2 is learn harder songs. This might sound like common sense and it might sound like something really stupid, but I believe for the most part, a lot of us, especially heavy metal players, were shaped and developed by certain bands that we really loved. I grew up listening to Metallica, Megadeth, Slipknot when that came out afterwards. I mean, it's just all these things all these bands that I was listening to really shaped my playing and kind of turned me into the player that I am today. But what happens is we do tend to end up in kind of a comfort zone of only playing that style of music and just being comfortable playing songs we already know how to play and know that we can pull off. Do yourself a favor, step out of your comfort zone and start learning something that you listen to that intimidates you. Listen to a song that you think, man, I'm not sure if I could really play that or not. I don't know. Sit down, pull the tabs up somehow, learn it, practice it. I'm not telling you guys to go out and pick out a Jeff Loomis track and just decide that you're gonna try to learn that. Let's not go too extreme with it, but just outside your reach. Just a song where you're just not sure if you can play it or not. Once you get done learning it, once you master that song, you're gonna have a big sense of achievement. Your morale's gonna go up as a guitar player, your motivation's gonna go through the roof, and you're gonna wanna keep learning harder and harder songs, because once you're done surprising yourself that way, you really do have a better opinion of yourself as a guitar player, and it really makes you want to keep going. All right, tip number 3, and also another very common sense type of thing that you might think is dumb: record yourself. And I'm sure you guys have seen many of these videos that are gonna at least have this one in there somewhere. Record yourself playing, whether it be on your cell phone if that's all you have, if you have a digital audio workstation that you can record yourself through, just record yourself. The mind has a really funky way of making you think that you just played something perfectly every time. I mean, obviously we can tell when we really screw up, but for the most part, sometimes you have that sensation where you're like, man, I just nailed that riff, I just got it perfect. And then you play it back and you're like, wow, that sounds really, really bad. I mean, a lot of times I'm in there recording solos and stuff into my digital audio workstation, and then I'll hit it and I'll say, man, that's the take, that's the one. And then I'll realize that it sounds like a 2-year-old playing a Hello Kitty guitar with a fork. So do yourselves a favor, record yourselves, listen back to it, find out where your weaknesses are. Maybe your alternate picking isn't as good as you thought it was. Maybe your vibrato isn't as good as you thought it was, and it's gonna expose everything as soon as you put it out there on tape and listen back to it. So that's tip number 3, guys. Do yourselves a favor, record yourselves and listen to it. And that kind of leads me right into tip number 4, which is play to a click. Okay, playing to a click is gonna do so much for you. And now I realize that playing to a click feels a lot like practice, but I'm not telling you to do really boring technique practice to a click. I'm saying anything that you're gonna play, if you're gonna sit around and riff in your room just for whatever amount of time, turn the click on as loud as you possibly can and play to it. Play your riffs to it. This is really gonna help your timing overall. Right now, just as a player playing in your room when you're learning new songs, you're gonna find it a lot easier to jam to certain songs because the timing is just gonna be muscle memory, right? You're just gonna be able to land things on time. And on top of that, when you finally do decide that you're gonna record maybe your own music, you're gonna record with a band, you're gonna be that much better at playing in time, and you're gonna be a breeze on the engineers that are trying to record you because it's not gonna take you 150 takes. It's only gonna take you like 90. All right, guys, so on to the 5th and final tip. It is going to be learn new scales. Now, I know that sounds dumb and it sounds like I'm trying to get you guys to practice. I'm trying to get you guys to do some of that boring shit that other people are putting out there that they don't do, but it's not. I don't know if you guys have ever had this problem, but I had it for a long time, and that was that all the riffs and all the songs that I were writing were kind of sounding the same. Now, obviously the riffs were different and overall the songs were different, but they all had the same feel to them, if you guys know what I'm saying. Everything I was putting out just kind of had the same type of sound, and I was getting really, really irritated and just getting kind of frustrated by the fact that I couldn't really change the overall feel of my music, and I wanted to write something new. And the best way I found to combat that was I learned some new scales. I learned like 3 or 4 new scales. I don't remember exactly what they were, but they were different from what I was used to. It wasn't my go-to thing. Every time we pick up the guitar and we start riffing, we're all gonna go to that one spot where we feel comfortable, we're gonna riff around those ideas, and we're gonna start creating music off of that idea. The best thing you can do for yourself is learn new scales, get outside of your comfort zone, and start writing different riffs. Now, I'm not saying one's gonna be better than the other, but it's definitely gonna be different. And when something is different, you play something different on the guitar, your ears perk up right away and you get super inspired to keep on going because it sounds different from what you're used to writing. All right, guys, so thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you guys got something from it. If you guys are already shred-tastic masters of the guitar, then I'm sorry for wasting your time, but if you guys are like me and you guys are in kind of a certain spot of your guitar playing where you're just not sure where you're at, but you're not necessarily happy with what you're doing and what you're putting out there on social media for people to see, I hope that some of these tips help you. As always, guys, if you can, please like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.